Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stood at the edge of something big so close you could almost taste victory, yet so tired, so beaten down you thought about quitting? Imagine a man running a marathon, knees trembling, vision blurry, hearing only the sound of his own breath, and then someone whispers, "Just one more step and you'll win everything." That step, that's where most people stop. Not because they can't go further, but because they don't know how close they really are. What if your breakthrough is behind the door you're about to walk away from? You laugh now, just one step. But haven't we all underestimated what one decision, one push, 1 second of courage can do? This is not a pep talk. It's a countdown, and the clock is ticking. In a world addicted to instant results, we've forgotten the thrill of the final push. But stay with me, because by the time we're done, you won't just believe in the power of one more step. You'll take it. Perseverance is the quiet force that drives us forward, even when the world tells us to stop. It's the inner strength that refuses to surrender, that continues to push through barriers when failure seems imminent. We often look at successful people and assume that they arrived at their achievements with little effort, that their journey was seamless. But the truth is, success isn't about having a smooth ride. It's about the willingness to keep going when the road gets rough. Perseverance is the fuel that keeps us moving forward in those moments when quitting feels like the easiest option. Think about the stories of great inventors, entrepreneurs, or athletes. What stands out is not their talent or their initial success, but their ability to endure failure. Thomas Edison, for example, famously failed thousands of times before he finally invented the light bulb. But every failure was a lesson, a stepping stone toward the breakthrough he was destined to achieve. If he had given up after the first failure or the 100th, we would still be sitting in the dark, both literally and figuratively. Edison's ability to persevere, to keep moving forward despite the odds, is what ultimately led to his success. Perseverance doesn't mean blindly pushing forward without recognizing the challenges ahead. It's not about ignoring the struggles, but rather understanding that they are part of the process. When we face difficulties, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and question whether it's worth continuing. But those who persevere understand that each challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to get closer to their goal. It's about resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep striving toward what we want, no matter how many times we're knocked down. When we persevere, we change our relationship with failure. Instead of viewing it as a dead end, we start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey. Failure teaches us things that success cannot. It humbles us, makes us more adaptable, and sharpens our focus. Each time we fall, we get a little stronger, a little wiser. The key is not to avoid failure, but to keep going after it, knowing that success is often the result of overcoming those failures. It's the moments when you feel like giving up, but instead you dig deep and take one more step, that define who you are and what you'll become. Sometimes the most difficult part of perseverance is not the physical effort, but the mental fortitude it takes to keep going. The mind is a powerful force that can either propel us forward or hold us back. Negative thoughts, doubts, and fears can easily sabotage our progress. But the power of perseverance lies in our ability to overcome these mental barriers. It's about choosing to ignore the voice that says, "You're not good enough," and replacing it with a voice that says, "I'll keep going." This shift in mindset is crucial to pushing through the tough times. Perseverance is also about the long game. In a world where instant gratification is increasingly the norm, the idea of sticking with something for the long haul can seem outdated. We want things now, and we want them easily. But the most significant achievements in life rarely happen overnight. They take time, effort, and above all, persistence. Whether it's building a business, learning a new skill, or achieving personal goals, the process requires consistent effort over time. It's about putting in the work even when the results aren't immediately visible. Success is often the result of days, weeks, months, or even years of small steps that eventually lead to a big breakthrough. And yet, perseverance is not always easy. There are moments when it feels like progress is slow or even non-existent. The initial excitement fades and doubt starts to creep in. The journey becomes tedious, and we wonder if it's all worth it. This is where perseverance truly proves its worth. In these moments, it's the ability to keep going without seeing immediate rewards that separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's about having the faith that the effort will eventually pay off, even if we can't see it right now. It's about knowing that the final step, the one that brings everything together, is just around the corner. To truly understand the power of perseverance, it's essential to recognize that it's not just about reaching the destination. The process of persevering, of continuing to push forward despite the difficulties, is transformative. Each step, each moment of struggle, molds us into a stronger version of ourselves. We discover our true potential, our capacity to endure, and our ability to rise above adversity. Perseverance is not just about achieving a goal, it's about the person we become in the process. Doubt and fear are two of the most powerful forces that hold us back from reaching our full potential. They linger in our minds, whispering that we are not good enough, that we are destined to fail, or that the risk is too great. These thoughts, however, are not reality, they are simply barriers that we create for ourselves. Overcoming them requires understanding their true nature and learning how to rise above them. It's easy to allow doubt and fear to dictate our actions, but the truth is, these emotions are often rooted in insecurity, past experiences, or the fear of what could go wrong. In reality, they rarely have anything to do with the actual task at hand. Doubt often stems from our own lack of confidence. When we don't believe in ourselves or our abilities, we question whether we're capable of achieving our goals. The more we dwell on this doubt, the more it grows, creating an endless cycle of self-sabotage. But the key to overcoming doubt lies in acknowledging that no one, not even the most successful people in the world, is free from moments of self-doubt. The difference is that they don't let those moments control their decisions. Instead of succumbing to doubt, they confront it head-on, reminding themselves that the journey to success is rarely without obstacles. The doubt itself is not a sign of weakness, but a part of the process. It's an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can push through the uncertainty and take action despite the fear of failure. Fear, on the other hand, is the mind's natural response to perceived danger or the unknown. It's a survival mechanism designed to keep us safe from harm. However, in modern life, fear often manifests in ways that are not life-threatening, but merely uncomfortable or challenging. The fear of failure, rejection, or judgment can feel just as intense as the fear of physical harm, but it's important to realize that these fears are not necessarily a reflection of reality. The fear of stepping outside of our comfort zone often holds us back from trying new things or pursuing our dreams. It convinces us that the risks are too high and the consequences too severe, even though they may not be as catastrophic as we imagine. To overcome fear, we need to change our relationship with it. Instead of seeing fear as an enemy, we can begin to see it as a signal that we are about to step into something new and challenging, something that has the potential to help us grow. Fear is often a sign that we are pushing the boundaries of our comfort zone, and that is where the magic happens. Great achievements rarely come from playing it safe. The most successful people in the world are not those who never felt fear, but those who took action in spite of it. They acknowledged their fear, understood it, and then moved forward anyway. They didn't let fear paralyze them, they used it as fuel to propel themselves toward their goals. The first step in overcoming doubt and fear is to recognize that they are natural human emotions, not signs of failure. Everyone experiences them, no matter how confident they may appear on the outside. What matters is how we respond to them. Do we let them control us, or do we confront them and move forward? The key is to take small, consistent actions that challenge the doubt and fear. It may not always be easy, but every step we take outside of our comfort zone is a victory over the very emotions that hold us back. One of the most powerful ways to combat doubt and fear is to reframe the way we think about failure. Most people are terrified of failing, but failure is not the end of the road, it's an inevitable part of success. Every failure teaches us something valuable, whether it's a lesson in resilience, perseverance, or what doesn't work. The fear of failure often comes from a lack of understanding that failure is not a reflection of our worth, but simply part of the journey. When we shift our perspective on failure, we stop fearing it and start embracing it as a learning opportunity. This shift allows us to take risks and move forward with confidence, knowing that failure is not something to fear, but something to learn from. Another key to overcoming doubt and fear is surrounding ourselves with supportive people who encourage and believe in us. It's easy to let negative voices, both internal and external, dictate our actions. But when we surround ourselves with individuals who lift us up, who remind us of our capabilities, it becomes easier to push through the doubt and fear. These people provide the reassurance we need when we're feeling uncertain, and they help us regain our focus when fear threatens to derail us. Finally, overcoming doubt and fear requires taking action. The more we wait for the perfect moment or for the fear to subside, the longer we delay our progress. Action is the antidote to fear. When we take steps toward our goals, no matter how small, we begin to build momentum and confidence. The more we act, the less control doubt and fear have over us. Each action, no matter how imperfect, is a declaration that we are willing to face our fears and keep moving forward. The key is not to wait for the fear to go away, but to take action despite it, knowing that every step we take is a step closer to overcoming it. Consistency is often the unsung hero of success, quietly driving individuals toward their goals, even when the path seems long and unremarkable. In a world that celebrates instant results and quick wins, the true value of consistency is often overlooked. Yet it is the steady, unwavering commitment to a cause, goal, or routine that makes the biggest difference in the long run. Success is rarely the result of sporadic bursts of effort, but rather the outcome of consistent, purposeful action taken day after day. It's easy to get excited about a new project or venture, but when the initial enthusiasm fades and obstacles arise, it's consistency that keeps us going. It's the ability to keep pushing forward, even when progress seems slow or when motivation ebbs away. One of the most profound benefits of consistency is the momentum it creates. Imagine trying to push a large boulder up a hill. In the beginning, the task feels nearly impossible. The boulder is heavy and the incline is steep. However, each push, no matter how small, gradually begins to shift the boulder. At first, progress feels imperceptible, but with each consistent effort, the boulder moves just a little bit further. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes easier, and the boulder gains momentum as it rolls downhill. This is the power of consistency. The more consistently you show up, the more momentum you build, and the easier it becomes to continue. The small, steady steps you take today will lay the foundation for much bigger leaps in the future. Consistency also allows you to develop habits that support your long-term goals. Creating a routine, whether it's for work, exercise, or personal development, instills discipline and makes the pursuit of your objectives a regular part of your life. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for constant decision-making. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires willpower or motivation to do it, simply becomes a part of your daily routine. Over time, these habits compound, and what may have once felt like a chore becomes second nature. Consistency turns these small actions into results that, over time, add up to something much larger than the sum of its parts. In the context of personal growth, consistency ensures that you are constantly improving. It's not about making giant leaps forward every day, but about committing to small improvements each time you show up. Over weeks, months, and years, these small improvements create a noticeable shift in your abilities and mindset. Just as a musician practices their instrument every day to improve their skill, or an athlete trains regularly to improve their performance, consistency allows you to gradually sharpen your skills and knowledge. Even if progress feels slow or imperceptible on a daily basis, it's the consistent effort that leads to mastery over time. You may not see dramatic changes overnight, but consistency ensures that you are consistently progressing in the right direction. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is the way it builds trust both with yourself and with others. When you consistently show up and follow through on your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. This self-trust is vital in pushing through moments of doubt or difficulty. You develop a sense of self-discipline that helps you stay on track even when things get tough. This trust in your own ability to persist through challenges becomes the bedrock of your self-confidence. Similarly, consistency builds trust with others. Whether it's in business or personal relationships, people value dependability. When you consistently deliver on your promises, others begin to trust you, knowing that you will follow through no matter the obstacles. Another key benefit of consistency is its ability to simplify the journey toward your goals. In a world full of distractions and competing priorities, consistency provides a clear path forward. When you commit to consistent action, you eliminate the need for constant recalibration. You don't need to question whether you're doing enough or if you're on the right track. The consistent steps you take each day will show you that you are moving in the right direction. Consistency cuts through the noise, allowing you to focus on what truly matters and move forward with purpose. It helps you stay grounded and centered, especially during times when the outcome seems uncertain or distant. One of the most difficult aspects of consistency is maintaining it when motivation fades. It's easy to stay committed when you're excited about a project or when things are going well, but when challenges arise, consistency becomes harder to maintain. This is where true grit and determination come into play. It's during these times that your commitment to consistency truly matters. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, often at the most inconvenient times. But consistency is built on discipline and determination. It's the decision to continue even when you don't feel like it, to show up even when it's hard, and to keep pushing forward even when results are not immediately apparent. In these moments, consistency is what separates those who quit from those who succeed. Consistency also helps to counteract the feelings of overwhelm that often accompany big goals. When we look at a large task or long-term project, it's easy to become paralyzed by the magnitude of what's ahead. However, when we break the goal down into manageable, consistent steps, the process becomes more approachable. You don't need to focus on the entire mountain at once. You just need to take one step at a time. Consistency gives you the structure and focus to keep moving forward without feeling bogged down by the scale of the task. It allows you to focus on the small victories along the way, which gradually build up to the larger success you seek. Ultimately, consistency is about developing a mindset of persistence and resilience. It's about showing up day in and day out with the understanding that the results will come not immediately but gradually. It's the belief that even the smallest steps forward matter, and that over time they will add up to something meaningful. Consistency allows you to weather the inevitable ups and downs of the journey, ensuring that you remain on course toward your goals. Success is rarely a matter of one big breakthrough. It's the result of steady, consistent effort applied over time. The importance of consistency, therefore, cannot be overstated. It's the key to creating lasting success and building a foundation that can weather any storm. The final push is often the decisive moment that determines whether we succeed or fail. It's the moment when everything we've worked for culminates in one final effort, one last surge of energy, and one last opportunity to prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we ever imagined. There is something about this final push that feels different from all the effort that came before it. It's the point where we feel exhaustion, doubt, and fear creeping in, and it's in this moment that our true character is revealed. This is the moment that separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. It's the critical juncture where all the effort, sacrifices, and struggles either lead to success or fade into disappointment. What makes the final push such a game changer is that it often comes when we least expect it. After weeks, months, or even years of hard work, it's easy to believe that we've done all we can, that we've exhausted our limits. But it's during these moments when we feel at our lowest that the greatest breakthroughs can occur. The final push is not about adding more to what you've already done, but about finding the strength to push past the walls you've built in your own mind. It's about overcoming the doubt that tells you that you've reached your limit and stepping into a place of action when everything else inside you says stop. This is the true power of the final push. It's about realizing that the limits you've set for yourself are not real, that your potential extends far beyond what you think is possible. At this point in the journey, the temptation to quit is at its peak. You've been through the grind, you've faced setbacks, and you've dealt with frustrations that have left you questioning your decision to pursue this goal in the first place. The obstacles have been numerous, and the challenges feel insurmountable. Your energy is drained, and the finish line seems too distant to reach. But it is exactly in these moments of despair that the final push holds the most power. It's the moment where you have to dig deeper than you've ever dug before, where you need to find that extra ounce of energy and courage that you didn't know you had. The truth is, the finish line is often closer than we think, but we cannot see it through the haze of exhaustion and self-doubt. The final push is about seeing beyond those feelings and pushing forward when all signs point to stopping. The final push is also a test of resilience. Resilience is the ability to continue even in the face of adversity, to get back up every time you fall, and to keep going when the road gets rough. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning to persevere despite it. The final push is where resilience is most crucial. It's the moment when you've faced every obstacle and still have to summon the strength to face just one more challenge. It's when all the little decisions you've made along the way, showing up every day, putting in the work, staying focused, culminate into one final decision, whether or not to give up. Resilience ensures that you don't quit, even when quitting feels like the easiest option. It's about taking one more step, even when you feel like you can't take another step. There's a certain urgency to the final push, an urgency that comes from knowing that the end is in sight. This urgency can be both motivating and overwhelming. It's motivating because it pushes you to give everything you've got in these final moments, knowing that the reward is within reach. But it can also be overwhelming as the pressure mounts and the stakes become higher. In these final moments, the weight of your previous efforts can feel unbearable. But this pressure is also what makes the final push so transformative. It's in the face of this pressure that you learn what you're truly made of, that you discover how strong you are and how capable you are of achieving the impossible. The urgency of the final push forces you to focus, to be intentional, and to give your full attention to the task at hand. It brings clarity in a way that nothing else can. The final push is a reminder that all the pain, struggle, and frustration were not in vain. It's the moment when everything starts to make sense, when the dots finally connect, and when you can see the fruits of your labor materializing before your eyes. What makes the final push particularly powerful is that it often comes at the moment of greatest self-doubt. The road to success is not always a straight line, and there will be moments when it feels like the end is so far away, it's almost not worth continuing. These are the moments when quitting seems like the only logical option. But it is precisely during these times that the final push has the potential to change everything. It's when you push past the doubt, when you break through the wall of uncertainty, that you find yourself on the other side, having achieved something you never thought possible. The final push transforms you in ways that no other part of the journey can. It's where you realize that the struggle was never meant to break you, it was meant to make you stronger. Ultimately, the final push is about conquering your own limitations. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought. It's easy to achieve when the path is clear and the results are immediately apparent, but the true test of success lies in the moments when everything feels uncertain. The final push teaches us that our success isn't just about reaching the goal, it's about the transformation that takes place in the process. The moments of doubt, struggle, and exhaustion are not signs that we are on the wrong path, they are indicators that we are pushing past the boundaries we've set for ourselves. The final push is the game changer because it reveals the true depth of our resilience, our strength, and our potential. It is the point where the impossible becomes possible and where everything we've worked for finally comes to fruition.